Welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris, and whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, or listening on Podbean, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some NFL coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the episode, and leave a comment down below. Spotify, if you're listening on there, share around with others, and follow on there as well. Podbean, same thing. If you're listening on there, share around with others and follow on there as well. We have Facebook and we have Twitter. Twitter, it's at pigskin_frenzy, all lowercase. All you got to do is type that bad boy in on the search engine and you will find it. Follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as news, highlights, and notifications from across college and NFL football. Facebook, same thing. All you got to do is type in Pigskin Frenzy, follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as news, highlights, and notifications from across college and NFL football. NFL Day Today, we are going to talk about some news coming out of the NFL draft. We found out a couple of days ago where the 2025 NFL draft is going to be. I posted it on the social media for Pigskin Frenzy, so we're going to dive deep into that. We're also going to be talking about the new fair catch rule being placed. It's quite interesting, so stay tuned in for that one. And we're going to talk about some news up in Foxborough, so regarding the New England Patriots and their OTAs. So just hang out, don't leave yet, and just subscribe to the channel on YouTube, follow and like on Facebook and Twitter, and follow and share around on Spotify and Podbean to Pigskin Frenzy. Keep plugging in. Let's just kick it off with the NFL draft news. So you're thinking right now, Joel, you've been talking about the NFL draft so much, you've thought we were taking a break from it, but now you're talking about it some more. Okay, I'm not talking about this draft, but we're going to be talking about a future draft. So the location of the 2025 NFL draft has been announced, and the 2025 NFL draft will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now, next year's NFL draft will be in Detroit, where we all presume that the class will be featured and headlined by quarterback from USC, Caleb Williams, North Carolina quarterback Drake May, Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., among others. So Detroit will be there. Then we have the 2025 NFL draft, which Green Bay, Wisconsin will play host. Another back-to-back NFC North, organizations from Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers are going to be playing a part for the NFL draft. It will be around Lambeau Field and up around Titletown. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting to see. Excited for that one in a couple of years. And that's pretty much all I got about it. It's just, talking about the NFL draft. It's an exciting spectacle. How this process works is, cities put in their bid to have the draft there. So what was interesting about this draft is because it's the defending Super Bowl champions, right? This past draft in Kansas City, these defending Super Bowl champions put in their bid, and it's the first time ever that a draft was held after that city won the Super Bowl. So it was interesting. So we'll see what happens there. Detroit will be the 2024 NFL draft, which is next year. And then in 2 years, the 2025 NFL draft will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So that's some draft news. Now let's go over, move on from that and talk about the new fair catch rule. That's what I'm going to be spending some of my time on here today. We're probably not going to have too long an episode today. We're just going to be talking about some headlines that have caught my attention. So let's go over the NFL fair catch rule, and we'll pop up the graphic in a minute. Don't worry, but recently the NFL was, meeting, and they're thinking, okay, what are some ways we can prevent concussions? Because let's face it, concussions have been a huge part of the game, especially last year, i.e. Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins. He suffered like 3 or 4, and it was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. It was one of those, injuries. It's one of those injuries where football is a contact sport. You can't help it. You're going to get hit. You're going to, it's not flag. Obviously flag football is a game. I'm not saying that, but it's one of those things where it's a contact sport. You're going to get hit. You're going to get tackled. Injuries happen, but concussion after concussion is pretty dangerous, and you're going to have to try to figure out a way to, prevent those, obviously. So this is one way right here to cite player safety. So the NFL fair catch rule graphic now. So the NFL fair catch rule owners met and they proposed a rule, and it is where off of a free kick, which is safety and kickoffs, that the ball will be placed on the 25-yard line following a fair catch on kickoff or safety free kicks. So it means player safety. It means, trying to prevent, many injuries, and it's a way to get the game going faster, right? So I'm going to get to the reactions in a minute because there are some reactions to it. So let's just go over this and break it down. So the fair catch off of a free kick, which is a safety or kickoff, and it must occur behind the team's 25-yard line in order for the ball to be placed at the 25-yard line. Sorry, I'm reading my notes off my phone here about this rule. So off the 25-yard line, right? So you're thinking, okay, yes, player safety. Yes, you're thinking get the game going faster, right? Yes, but also what could player safety play a part into this, right? I'm going to explain that in a minute, but let's just keep going. I'll explain what I just said in a moment. How can player safety play into this? It's going to be only tested for 1 year. It's going to be year right here. This is the only season that they're doing this for now. It's a testing year, right? They're going to test this out. And like I said, player safety is the reason behind it. So they're testing it for 1 year just to see if it sticks. And if it sticks, they'll keep it going. They'll make it permanent. Right now, it's just temporary for this season only to see where everything will go, from here, right? So you think and you look and you're like, okay, player safety, yeah, prevent injuries and concussion. But how will it, though? Yes, injuries and concussions and all that happen on kickoffs, right? Absolutely. It will prevent injuries. It will prevent less injuries. That is the correct wording that needs to be used. Player safety. It will protect. It will provide more player safety. Understandable. That's good. But you got to add some more words to this, right? More player safety. It won't add overall player safety. Because when you're out there and you're a quarterback, and if you're a wide receiver, offensive lineman, defensive back, middle linebacker, playing at the jack position, you name it, right? It's still going to, affect how it's going to, you can still be hit. You can still be hurt. You can still get injured. You name it. So my process with this is, yes, it will help with more player safety. It won't prevent injuries, right? Because injuries are going to happen. That's just the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's football. It is a contact sport. Andy Reid, and I quote, said this, right, is not flag football. He has a problem with the rule because he doesn't want it to be flag football, and low-key, it helps other teams, right? If a fair catch is happens on a kickoff, you're automatically at the 25-yard line. You're not spotted where you were. You're at the 25-yard line, so it gives other teams an advantage, right? It can give the Chiefs an advantage. It can give them a disadvantage if they're playing against someone. So, yes, that's a con to it. I'm not going to lie. That's a con to it. And a pro, I guess, would be to prevent more injuries from happening during kickoffs, yes. And another pro with it would be, it can speed up the game a little bit because games can be drawn out, right? It could be drawn out. Understandable. Games can last 4 or 5 hours, and you want to have a faster paced game. Here's the problem: injuries happen, folks, and that is my take on this. Injuries happen. It's going to happen. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hurt. It is one of the most unfortunate things when it comes to football. It's a hot take that I'm saying right now. People are gonna be like, "Dude, you're saying some stupid stuff." I'm not. You think that I am, right? That's y'all's opinion. Understandable. I'm just speaking the truth. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be injuries. There's gonna be, there's going to be, something that happens during a play. Someone's going to break an ankle. Someone's going to get another concussion. Someone's going to tear an ACL or sprain an MCL and be out for weeks, season, months, 2 years, maybe tear an Achilles. It's going to happen. It happens. It's football. It's a contact sport. There have been non-contact injuries. Those are freak accidents. That's a whole other conversation. But what I'm saying is it prevents it prevents, you know, it prevents more injury from happening, right? Good. Great. But injuries are going to happen. It's the name of the game. It's football. You're taking a risk every time you step out onto the field, onto the turf, onto the grass, wherever you play, high school, college, NFL, you name it. You're taking a risk. You're taking a risk of injuring your body or getting a concussion or tearing something or tearing a ligament or breaking an arm, tearing a labrum, you name it. You're taking a risk, but you do it because you love the game of football, right? And you have fun and you love doing it. You love it being your job as a professional athlete. You love doing it in college. You love playing it in high school for fun. That's just that's just the name of the game, and that's how it works. So injuries are going to happen. That's my take on it. Do I have an opinion on if the rule is cool or if the rule is great? Not really. I think the rule is the rule. There's nothing we can really do about it because the team owners are the ones that approve of this stuff. They are technically the board of directors when it comes to the NFL. Owners meet of all 32 clubs and they all have a consensus agreement. They outvote some owners, and some owners disapprove of it, and the more owners approve of it, and owners of the owners that disapprove of it, the ruling will pass through. If there is more disagreement than agreements, the rule will, not pass through. So it's not my call because I'm a football podcast host. You know what I'm saying? It's not my take, and I don't really have a stance on it. Do I like that it prevents, does it, take away some injuries there? Yeah, I think that's a great thing for football. I don't want to see anybody get hurt playing the game. No. But my take on it is this. It's not going to prevent injury and player safety for the long run. There's still going to be plays where it's a contact sport. If you take away the contact part of the sport, then you got to agree with Andy Reid. You might as well just play flag football. And that's a hot take, and that's a very controversial thing to say, but it's the truth. Player safety is everything to me, and I want players to be safe. I agree with the rule that it could be a safer way for players. They don't have to run back, and they don't have to get hit as much, and they don't have to get hit, right? Great. I 100% agree with that. I want that to be the case. I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt. It's just no way for foreseeing that it's just going to take away all sorts of injuries, because in a way, if you run a play, someone can get hurt. So it's just the name of the game, and injury is a part of it. But is it a good way of preventing, more injury? Absolutely. You got to add like I said, you got to add those words to it. It takes away from more injury and it prevents more injury. Does it take away injury completely? No. But it prevents further injury, or it prevents more injury from happening to players. And that's what you want, right? That is the name of the game. You want people to be healthy, and you want people to continue to play the game that they love. But injury is a part of the game, unfortunately, and it's one of those things where you just can't take it completely away. That's the name of the game, and that's football, right? So I'm glad that they have the rule to prevent more injury, but it's not going to take any further away, injury further away. Player safety is important to me, and I think it's not going to take injury away completely, right? So that's just my take on it. That's the new fair catch rule that they're trying out for the first part of the season. And, that's a test run for this year only. So moving on from that was mainly what I was going to talk about, the fair catch rule. But let's just, before we, conclude today's episode, let's talk about the Patriots and the update in Foxborough. So OTAs are a thing where it's mini camp and off-season workouts, and you're getting ready to go into training camp in late summer, going into the late summer, early fall, and before the season starts, and you're thinking, okay, man, let's get our bodies right, let's stay in shape, and let's get prepared, right? So let's talk about what's happening in Foxborough now. So, news out of Foxborough, according to ESPN, New England Patriots are losing 2 of those OTA days due to violation of off-season rules. You look at it and it's like, man, they can't catch a break because of the tampering for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sorry, from the Miami Dolphins and Tom Brady and all this stuff, right? They can't catch a break. But it's one of those things where it's sort of minor, but it's minor in a sense of, okay, it's just a few offensive rules that we violated. Yes, it's still, a big problem. Don't do it, but it can't hurt us, anymore, right? It really can't hurt us all that well. Let me tell you why losing 2 OTAs hurt. Number one, I just mentioned it. Players being in shape. You need OTAs, right? You need these OTA days because you need players to stay in shape ahead of training camp. I cannot stress that enough. Players need to stay in shape before the training camp starts. OTAs are voluntary workouts. Players show up. Some players don't show up due to contract disputes. That is a whole other conversation, ladies and gentlemen. That is a whole other conversation. I can mention one thing. This has nothing to do with the Patriots, but Austin Ekeler is with OTAs now after remaining with the Chargers. That's a whole other news headline, and we can talk about that later on. But with the Patriots, he's remaining with the Chargers, but with the Patriots, let's talk about them. You look at it and you're thinking, okay, man, you need those OTA days. You need to get the workouts in. You need to just be prepared, right? You need Mac Jones ready. You need Stevenson ready. You need Damian Harris ready. You need Nelson Aguilar ready. And you need some of these guys ready, right? You need Keon White, some of these rookies ready. You need Christian Gonzalez ready, man. You got to get these guys ready for the season. That is one of the main problems with missing 2 OTA days, right? Another is game planning and coaching, right? That's another flaw. That's another flaw of what happens here, right? You got to get prepared for training camp. And you got to, as an associate, as a staff member as a part of the organization, you got to get ready for training camp. You got to it's never too early to game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles on September the 10th, right? Because that's what we're getting ready for. We're getting ready for some of these players who are second string, third string, fourth string, you name it, practice squad, right? To get ready for the preseason in August, right? There's 4 weeks of preseason football before the regular season hits. I'm going to cover some preseason. I'm covering mainly the regular season, right? That's what everybody looks forward to. But I'm going to cover some preseason football in August. There's no doubt. I mean, preseason is where you got to get your backups and you got to get a lot of your guys ready and ready in game time form in case anything happens to those starters, right? OTAs is a big part of getting ready for the preseason and getting ready for the season to come up. Not just for workouts and not just for players, but you got to think about the staff. That's the 2 main points. You got to think about the staff in game planning because if you don't have OTAs, then, you're going to be a step behind of everybody else. That's what hurts, right? You don't want to be a step behind in game planning like everybody else is. Everybody else is having their OTAs and workouts. They're ready. They're pumped. They're getting here ready. Okay, we're ready to go try to chase a championship. OTAs is a part of your organization that you need to get ready to physically work your body out and be in shape ahead of time, ahead of schedule for camp, right? In August and in late July. That's 1. And 2, it gets you caught up with game planning against your opponent that you're facing in your first week of the regular season. And it gets you ready to walk through some drills with some of the guys who are just now coming in, who are rookies and who are entering their second season, right? So you got to think, no, it's not important. People are thinking out there, it's not important. Losing OTA days, not really all that, not all that, we'll recover. You say that, but it's one of those things where you need it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where, okay, it's grueling, but you'll thank us later when you have it. So Patriots losing 2 OTA days, that's pretty big right there. And another thing, and we'll move on from the OTA days right now. And speaking of more OTAs, and I'll just touch on this before we conclude. Austin Ekeler for the Los Angeles Chargers is back. He will remain a free agent. He will remain a part of the team, and he will be a free agent next year. So that's good news for the Chargers. They really certainly need him. There were some rumors about him getting traded. I really didn't see why you would trade an Austin Ekeler. He is a solid running back. You got weapons around. If you're the Chargers, you're liking your team. Honestly, you got Quentin Johnson, Mike Williams. You have Austin Ekeler, and you have the main guy at all, Justin Herbert, right? And you got Keenan Allen. Forgot about Keenan Allen. You got Quentin Williams, Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen, Austin Ekeler, and Justin Herbert at the helm of that offense. So you're liking your team right now. And Austin Ekeler adds more, not just of an elusive run, but he also he accelerates on catch, and he's a very powerful, he catches the ball well, and he's very powerful pass running back, right? He can block. He is an elusive back that you need, and it fits the Chargers scheme. So good on Austin Ekeler. Let's see if they can try to work out a deal for him coming up next season. But Austin Ekeler remaining with the team for the 2023 season until he hits free agency in 2024 in March of next year. So that just about does it. We're out of time here. A big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back and watch and listen to some NFL coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the episode and leave a comment down below. Spotify, if you're listening on there, share around with others and follow on there as well. Podbean, if you're listening on there, share around with others and follow on there as well. We have Facebook and we have Twitter. Twitter, it's at Pigskin_Frenzy, all lowercase. All you got to do is type that bad boy in on the search engine and you'll find it. Follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as news, highlights, and notifications from across college and NFL football. Facebook, same thing. All you got to do is type in Pigskin Frenzy. Follow and like the page there. You'll get episode updates as well as news, highlights, and notifications from across college and NFL football. A big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday today. We'll be back Tuesday. We'll continue our series of conference standing projections on college football. We'll kick it off with the Big 12 coming up Tuesday, and it'll be, just tune into that, and we will continue our series on that for college football. Till then, Tuesday, I'm Joel Norris signing off, and we will see you once again Tuesday for another edition of Pigskin Frenzy. And for everyone out there, stay the course.